Hello guys! In this video I am going to try some Arteza watercolor paper. First they sent me this premium watercolor paper which I didn't like because it has so much texture and I prefer the smooth ones. So they sent me the expert paper, which it has double-sided watercolor paper. This one is like rough wall texture and the other side is smoother, but yeah, we'll try it in this video. So it was Shark Week, so I wanted to paint some sharks. I started with this painting. So what I realized is that the paper will rub off simply by erasing some of the line sketch, which was done with a cool erase Prismacolor, so it's supposed to be cool erase as the name says. So yeah, I didn't have this problem with any other papers in the past, so that was a bad start. Then I started with the background, which I wanted to be in two colors. As you can see here, I wanted to play with gray bluish tone with a pink one, and as I was painting the paper I realized that something weird was happening on the edges of the paper. As you can see, it bleeds on the edge of the papers, and also the drops, they will do this weird texture, like it will absorb too much. So I decided I will let it dry to see how it will react at the end, because it's different when it's wet from when it's dry. And in the meantime I started another painting of another black tip sharks, because I wanted to use the smoother version of the paper. And I've realized that it will also happen the same thing in the edges of the paper. As you can see, it appears like a weird line, and then it will absorb too quickly. Like I was painting and I wasn't feeling comfortable like any other times with any other papers that I used. It was like I needed to paint quickly, otherwise it will dry too quickly and it wouldn't let me paint as I usually do. So yeah, for these paintings, by the way, I've tried to do a little bit of more of background, since I usually do just the animal, but I thought it would be great to just try the paper and do the background as well. So I really liked this painting idea, but then I didn't like at all the finished version. As you can see here, the first layer is already dry, so I started painting the sharks. But as you can see, it is so weird, like the colors went so opaque and the paper just absorbed too much of the watercolor. Not even with the tiny details for the black parts of the sharks, not even for those parts I was happy with the paper. It was like it absorbed too much, so I didn't exactly control the shapes. When you make a stroke with a brush, you want it to be like perfect, like where you put the brush, that's where you're painting. But with this paper, it tends to expand. This is how it looked. I just gave up. I didn't continue the painting. As you can see, the paper is all bent. This is not a problem because you can always flatten the paper afterwards. But I didn't like the texture that it shows and how it absorbs the watercolor, the colors, and yeah, I wasn't very happy with the paper. And this is the other side of the paper. As you can see, they are different. One, it looks more like a wall, and the other one is smoother. And as you can see here, the drops, they expanded like very weirdly, and I didn't like that at all. so I was quite disappointed, so I thought I will try again to do the painting with my favorite paper, which is Canson Watercolour. There are many other papers that I like, but this one I discovered recently and I am quite in love with it because it has a smooth texture, which I like, but it works perfectly. So yeah, I really recommend it if you're looking for a good watercolor paper. Try the Canson Watercolour. So as I really wanted to make the cotton candy colors sharks that you already know by now from my Instagram, so I decided I will remake the painting on the Canson paper. As you can see, I can work as usual with the watercolor on the watercolor paper. It won't absorb too much. I can play with water, I can play with a napkin drying the extra watercolor that I don't need. I mean, you can see that it doesn't make any weird things by absorbing the watercolor. It just works perfectly. So I was very excited about this painting. I will let you guys enjoy of the process of the cotton candy sharks, and as you might know, after I finished this painting I've made limited edition prints of it, so if you liked it you can have the prints on my Etsy shop. They are printed on fine art Epson cotton paper and they are A4 size, so hurry up because they are limited edition, so once they are gone they will be gone. I hope you enjoy the rest of the video and thank you so much for watching.